This video is going to go over the ratios and proportional relationships RISE review paper. So follow along with me. Okay, first question says, using the image, write the ratio of squares to triangles in two different ways. So squares to triangles, if it says squares first, you write the number of squares first, and then you write the number of triangles. So squares, there are 1, 2, 3, to 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3:4, you could also write it as 3, 2, 4, or sometimes it's written as 3/4, like a fraction. Other equivalent ratios could be if you multiply the top and the bottom by the same number. So for example, 3 times 2 is 6, 4 times 2 is 8. So 6 to 8 could be like an equivalent ratio. Okay, next question. In your math class, there are 8 boys and 11 girls. What is the ratio of boys to total students? So boys starts first, so 8 boys to total students. Total students would be combined boys and girls. So 8 plus 11, which is 19. So boys to total students would be 8 to 19. And again, you could write it in different ways, but that's the most common way. Next one, if Shayla can type 531 words in 3 minutes, how many words does she type in 1 minute? So this one I like to set up a proportion. So 531 words in 3 minutes. How much in 1 minute? So I'm going to put my minutes side by side with each other, and I'm going to find out how many words that is. So one way I can do that is do 1 times 3, multiply diagonally, and divide by the third number. So 1 times 531 is just 531. And then I'm doing 531 divided by 3. Let's just practice doing division just in case you don't have a calculator for this type of problem. So 3 goes into 5 1 time. 1 times 3 is 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. Bring down the 3. 3 goes into 23 7 times. 7 times 3 is 21. 23 minus 21 is 2. Then I bring down the 1. How many times does 3 go into 21? 7 times. 7 times 3 is 21. Subtract, and I get 0. So in 3 minutes, how many words does she type in 1 minute? 177 words would be my answer. Okay, next question. It says 36 students for 3 teachers equals blank students for 1 teacher. So you can set up a proportion. 36 students for 3 teachers. How many students? So I'm going to put my students side by side. I don't know how many students for 1 teacher. So again, I can multiply diagonally. 1 times 36, which is 36, and 36 divided by 3. 36 divided by 3 is 12. So there's 12 students per teacher for 1 teacher. 12 students. Okay, next is we're filling in the table with the missing values. So it says find the missing values in the table. So I'm going to see a pattern in the table to help me figure out the missing values. So it looks like on the left side, it's going 6, to the next one it's 12, next one is blank, and the next one's 24. So it looks like it's counting by 12, or it's counting by 6. 6, 12, and then the next one would be 18, 24, 30. So it's counting by 6 each time. This one's counting by 5, so it looks like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Be careful with that because sometimes it's not always counting by one thing. You have to see the relationship between one number and the other. And sometimes that is another way to do it. Okay, turning to the next page. Or on the back page, it says Fred earned $36 working for 4 hours. If he works for 6 hours, how much money will he work? So again, let's set up the proportion. $36 for 4 hours. How many for 6 hours? So I'm going to put the 6 at the bottom because I'm going to keep my hours side by side with each other. So these are be like equivalent ratios. Then I'm going to find out how much money he makes in 6 hours. So again, I can do 6 times 36 divided by 4. So 6, and again, you'll most likely have a calculator for this. So you can do 6 times 36, which is 216. And then you're going to do 216 divided by 4. And you get $54. So in 6 hours, he would earn $54. That would be my answer. Next one, the olive oil costs $11. Using the price tags, which item is the better deal? Explain your answer below. So it looks like one of them's 20% off and one of them's $2 off. So the one that's $2 off is we would just do 11 minus 2, which gives us 9. So bottle B costs $9. Now we need to see what 20% off would be. So one way to find out what is 20% of a number is we know a percent is a number compared to 100. So 20% is 20 divided by 100, which is, in other words, 0.2. So we're going to find out what 20% of 11 is. So I'm going to write $11 and I'm going to times it by 20%, which is also 0.2. So if you have your calculator, you do 11 times 0.2 and you get 2.2. Okay, so 20% equals 2.2, or in other words, $2.20. So we would subtract $2.20 from $11 to find out how much we pay. So $11 minus $2.20. 0 minus 0 is 0. We're going to have to borrow 1. 10 minus 2 is 8. We bring down the decimal, borrow 1. 10 minus 2 is 8. So for bottle A, we would pay $8.80. So it looks like bottle A would be the better deal because you're paying less. Another way you could set up this problem is to create a proportion. So you could say for this one, I'd say, okay, the full price, $11 represents 100% of the price. And then I'm going to put my percent side by side. I'm going to find out what 20% represents. So to do that, you would do 20 times 11 divided by 100. So let's see if that works. 20 times 11 divided by 100. And then that would give me $2.20. And then that would let me know that what the 20% off would be. And I would subtract $2.20 from $11, which would give me $8.80. Okay, last one. It says Craig wants to buy 1/2 pound of crackers, but the boxes are only listed in ounces. How many ounces of crackers should he be? What does that say? What is, oh, for looking for. Okay, so you have to find a conversion between pounds and ounces. So I know 1 pound has 16 ounces. Okay, so for 1/2 of a pound, we'll say 0.5 or half. That means I'm going to do 1 divided by 2 gives me 1/2. So I'm going to divide 16 divided by 2 to find out how many ounces are in 1/2 of a pound. So it'd be 8 ounces. So 1/2 of 16 ounces is 8 ounces. So in 1/2 of a pound there would be 8 ounces of crackers. OZ means ounces. You can also spell it like this. Okay, go over the questions that you didn't quite understand, and then come to me with any questions that you might have. Thanks.